Magoo Goes Skiing is pretty great. This is a UPA cartoon from 1954. It's directed by Pete Burness and it's written by Teehee and Bill Scott, with a voice cast including, of course, Jim Backus as Mr. Magoo and Jerry Hausner as Waldo. And there won't be any major spoilers as I discuss what happens in this. I won't go into any spoiler detail, but Mr. Magoo decides to go skiing, and as we know, Mr. Magoo doesn't have the best eyesight, so if he doesn't listen to people, it could be a little bit dangerous, but off he goes. It does take a little bit of time to get there. It takes about 2 minutes or so to actually get him out onto the snow, maybe even a little bit longer than that. I didn't mind the initial build-up, and the animation is a delight, so visually it's quite satisfying. But I think he maybe could have reached the slopes a little bit more quickly, and then they could have developed that bit a little bit more. But the second half of the cartoon is absolutely fine, and there is this anticipation of wondering what kind of trouble he'll get into. Will he actually make it down the slope? We do have some really nice anticipation. The animation, though, is what I really liked. And I'm not going to say what happens ultimately, but I will say I liked the way it developed. I liked the way things wrapped up. I thought, as a story, everything worked really well. The initial pacing could have been a bit better, but it still worked well, and I don't have any issues with the story. Mr. Magoo's character, absolutely brilliant, very recognisable as Magoo, so that if this is your first Magoo experience, I think you'll get a really good understanding of the character and what he is like. And of course we have good voice acting, but for me the thing I enjoyed the most is definitely the animation itself. There's a really great attention to detail, so even when we had that slower beginning, there was still that decent visual element and nice attention to detail, really good character designs and character movements. The colour palette is great. Sometimes we have very, very bright, bold colours, and sometimes we have much softer, more gentle, calmer colours, and I think the mix works really well. Magoo is wearing a pretty interesting outfit. The design of the skis, the snow, everything looks brilliant. So visually great. It's a good concept, generally well executed, but the pacing could be a bit better. It sounds great, great voice acting. As I said, if you're brand new to Mr. Magoo, while this wouldn't be my first recommendation, don't ask me which one my first one would be, as I'm not entirely sure, but while this wouldn't be my top favourite number one recommendation, you absolutely could start here and get a good idea of what the character is like, and certainly if the skiing topic appeals to you, it could be a good place to start. And if you're an existing Magoo fan, of course, then I'd say this is one that you're probably going to enjoy.